Now then, welcome to the MastoCast, episode 70... I don't fucking know. What episode are we on now? We are on 74. 74. Welcome into the MastoCast, the monoblog podcast hosted by me. It's a monoblog, a blog for myself that I do on the old Poddy McPodcast thing, because I don't want to type my blogs or anything like that, and I thought it might be amusing for people to listen to it if they want to do that. But hello, how's it going? How are you doing? If you listen to this on the weekend that it comes out, it's pissing down at the moment over here in Darlington, northeast England, which is a bit of a shame, but hey ho. Hopefully the weather gets better for you. I think it's meant to be really nice tomorrow. I'm off to Newcastle tomorrow for a bit of a day sesh, and we just looked at the weather earlier on. It's like 14 degrees, sunshine, lovely stuff, beer garden weather, and it's it's getting a bit warmer now. It's getting a bit nicer outside, in between the dull shit, grey clouds and all that bollocks and rain. It's getting better. Let's hope for a nice summery summer. You know, it would be really nice, wouldn't it? It would be much preferred. But yeah. Hope you were doing well. Doing well. Thanks very much for listening to the previous podcast episode on high vis. And sorry I forgot. I actually forgot to record a bloody episode. Like, that's how quick my week went. It just went pretty quick. I don't know what happened. I do apologize. It was like it came to Wednesday, and it was like, oh shit! I didn't even record a bloody podcast episode, and yeah, bit of a shit excuse, but yeah, I genuinely forgot. So I do apologize about that. But it is Friday now, and here is a new episode. But yeah, what's been happening? I've been going to a couple of gigs. It's been cool. Been going to a couple of gigs. Couple of albums that have been coming out. I'll talk about some of the gigs that's been happening. Went to see. I don't believe I talked about it because I didn't, because the last time I recorded a podcast was a couple of weeks ago. So, anyways, I went to. Me and Haley went to see Dave Hause at Newcastle Wylam Brewery, and is a venue I've never been to before. And I'm probably going to gush over the venue more than I am going to about the actual act. To be honest, it was really good. It was actually a really good gig. So Dave Hause, he's sort of like a American singer-songwriter type person, you know, sort of in the same vein of like your Chuck Reagans, Brian Fallons, that sort of thing. Menzingers, he's pretty good. Some of the songs I quite like. It's someone I don't go crazy for, but Haley's a big fan, so we went over to Newcastle to go see him. And so this is at a brewery that I've never been to before, never heard of it. It's right in the middle of Jesmond Park in Newcastle, and we were looking at it from the outside, and it's a lovely looking building on the outside. And you walk in, lovely little sitting area for food and drinks. So obviously we got there a little bit early, and thought we'd have a couple of beers, have a burger. I shit you not, one of the best burgers I've ever ate. Oh my god, it was fucking peng, mate. It was unbelievable. Like, chorizo jam, nice beef patties, cheese. Oh, it was unbelievable. Like, literally one of the nicest burgers I've had. It was beautiful. And the beer was really nice as well. And obviously went to the gig. It was a nice sat down occasion. Love me some seats at gigs. And so the gig was a guy called Tim House, who is Dave House's brother. He opened it up, just him by himself, solo, acoustic, like, he sounded good. He's got a good voice on him. Very nice sounding acoustic guitars that he has. And of course we have Dave Hause, who is obviously headlining it. Tim House is playing guitar for him, and he's got like a piano player as well, and yeah, it was like a lush sounding venue as well. Like the acoustics and everything. Like normally you go see someone play an acoustic gig, and it's like, yeah, like they just kind of sound like whatever, don't they? Like an acoustic gig, like you're never blown away by like the sound of an acoustic guitar at a gig, but the way it's set up in there, like I don't know what it is. The acoustics sounded incredible through that PA. Like that, there was like so his brother was playing like a 12-string acoustic guitar. He was playing Dave Hause was playing like just a regular 6-string acoustic guitar, and there was like I said, piano player, and he also had an accordion and like a little Irish flute thing as well. But yeah, it was a really nice gig. It was good, and these sort of gigs are really nice, like very intimate, very much having a laugh with the crowd and all that sort of stuff. Loads of stories about the songs, and like I'm not like a massive fan of his music. Like I think he's fine, but like I never go into his back catalogue or anything. But like in that setting, like it's just really nice, isn't it? For me, and yeah, we went to the merch, got a print, and he signed it. It was really nice, and he was like, "What's your name?" I said, "Oh, I'm Danny." How do you spell that? I was like Danny. He said, "NY because why not?" And I was like, "Yeah," and and that was it. Smashing gig. It was really, really good. It was nice, and that Wylam Brewery in Newcastle. If you've never been there before, and you're in the Newcastle surrounding areas, lovely place, lovely place, and yeah. And I went to another gig in Leeds, which was Architects on their album release show at the Project House in Leeds. So an intimate setting for Architects. This is my 12th time seeing Architects. And, like I said, this is their record release show. And it was really good. It was really good. I'm never surprised about Architects being amazing or anything like that. It was really good. A bit short and sweet. No support band. They were on for, I believe, like 45 minutes. They were on for about 45 minutes, Architects were. And yeah, I have to admit, I was a bit like, is that it? I would have liked a bigger set. They basically played like the singles from the new album, which all sound great, and the like the odd hit here and there. Like I think they played a couple off Classic Symptoms, so they played Deep Fake and When We Were Young. They played Doomsday from Holy Hell, like third song into the set. Like two new songs and right, here's Doomsday. Like holy shit! Like usually that's like the concert closer or like the encore, that sort of thing. So I was quite surprised to see that very early in the set. And what else did they play? Did they play a song from For Those That Wish to Exist? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they closed on Animals. But like the band sounded great. The sound was a bit quiet. I mean, we were stood right at the back, but it's only a small venue. Well, very small for them, but like it did seem pretty quiet. I would have liked it to the volume to be a little bit higher. Like it sounded fine. It sounded nice and clear and everything, but like, yeah, it was just a little bit quiet. But the new songs sound great live. I'm always happy to see Architects. They are great. And whilst I'm on that subject, I might as well talk about the new album, which has dropped last week. It is called The Sky, the Earth, and All Between. And, I'm always excited for an Architects album. This is their 11th, which is bonkers, that they are on that many albums now already. And, I've really liked the singles leading up to it. Like, we had Seeing Red, like, it was like the back end of 2023. Like, it was really, really, really early on. Like, yeah, so I was like the back end of 2023. I think it was like December or something. And obviously they brought out Curse, and I remember them playing those two songs at Bloodstock last year, which was August. So, like, we already had those two singles, and when they dropped Whiplash, which I believe I've talked about on the podcast before, they dropped Whiplash, and, with a music video, and that was when they announced the album, and, they dropped Whiplash, and I think it was last month they dropped Black Hole. So there's 4 singles already, and literally a week before the album dropped, they dropped another 2 bloody singles. So it was like 6 singles. So I didn't bother listening to the other 2 singles that came out a week prior to the album, because I just didn't want to spoil it too much. I think when bands are dropping singles for albums, I think 3 is a maximum for me. Then I got a good flavour of what's to come. I don't want to be spoiled too much, if that makes sense. Like they basically dropped what was it? It was a song called Everything Ends and Brain Dead featuring House of Protection. That was also dropped before the album came out. But now the album is out. It's been out for a week. They could potentially get a number 1 album. They're against a couple more at the moment, and this is a really good album. It's really bloody good. Surprise! I really like Architects. I really fucking love them. Like, a lot of people gave them shit for Classic Symptoms, which is the previous album that came out. I liked that album. I didn't think it was bad. It was definitely not their strongest work, but I liked it. There were some good songs on there. I think The Sky, the Earth, and All Between is a better album. I think it's really strong and very little in terms of skips. This is a great album. Like Elegy, the opener, it really is a really good sort of tone to set. Like, you get these sort of arpeggiated synths that sort of build up with Sam and like singing like really, really softly, and we start to get these build-ups with the toms and stuff, and all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, it'll go into full-on like almost blast beat territory, like think like Nihilist from All Out Gods Have Abandoned Us. It sounds a lot like that. But yeah, that's a really, really great opening track for Architects. Like, I think it's a way better opening track than the last album, because Deep Fake is, I think it's a good song, but I don't think it was a good opener for that album. Like, I just thought it was a bit whatever to sort of go into. But I think LG is brilliant, and obviously you got the 2 singles after that song. Well, actually, no, you got all 4 bloody singles that come after that song. So you get I believe it's let me just try and think. I've forgot the bloody song names. Whiplash, that it goes into Black Hole, which we spoke about before on the podcast. I really like them 2 singles. I think they're really good and strong. And Everything Ends is like a proper full-on Linkin Park tribute sound and thing. And very big sounding chorus, very, very catchy. Like, it's one of those that's been stuck in my head for ages. But it's like, I think they've done it justice as well. Like, like, it doesn't sound like too radio friendly. Like, I think it's got a bit of grip behind it. It's got a bit of passion behind the vocals, and I just think it's a really good track. And the song Brain Dead, which features House of Protection, is really bloody good. Like, this is like Architects going fucking punky, and like, it's fast as fuck. It's got blast beats in it, and I don't think the House of Protection feature does much, to be honest. Like, I know they're quite a new band. Like, they are the 2 original members from Fever 333 that isn't Jason Butler from Let Live. So it's basically the guitar player and the drummer. They both quit Fever 333 and formed their own thing. And, they're a new band. They haven't even got an album out yet. I don't think they even have an EP. I think they've got like a couple of singles out. So, like, there's not a lot of identity for them yet, if that makes sense. Like when the feature comes in for this song, like, obviously as well, if you're going against, like, or going with Sam Carter, like, you got to up your fucking game, really. And it doesn't really do much. And there's been a couple of occasions like that with Architects, like when it's come to like guest features. Like, I remember for those that Wish to Exist, that album, like that song with the geezer from Royal Blood, I forgot his name, who was on Little Wonder, his feature does very little as well for that. So it kind of reminded me of that. But the song itself is actually really bloody good. Like when I saw them at Leeds, like Sam Carter, like just basically sang his like basically sang that guest feature himself, and like it just sounded fine the way it was. Like the feature didn't do much to sort of elevate the song, but it is still a really good song. Like, so yeah, I'm not saying like the feature was bad. It was just like, well, it's not really elevating it in any way. It would have been better off just Sam doing it, probably. But yeah, it's a really good song. Like, Evil Eyes is phenomenal. Really, really good song. Sort of very moody, and like this is like Sam Carter's like tearing his throat out on these verses. Like you can hear like the crackle in his voice, and like, you know, like just sort of like he'll be screaming, and like his voice cracks like halfway through. Like, yeah, it is really, really good, and like it's got like a Deftonesy sort of chorus to it. Yeah, it's a really, really good song. One track that stands out for me a lot is Judgment Day, which features someone by the name of Amira Elfaki. Yeah, Amira Elfaki. And I'm not really familiar with this artist at all, to be honest. Like, this is the first time I've ever heard her. But Judgment Day it's like Rammstein meets Health or Nine Inch Nails. It's like this consistent stomp all the way through with these, with the electronics that have gone behind it, like very, very melodic electronics, but like it's got like that really down-tuned, it's like Meshuggah doing Rammstein, but with Nine Inch Nails, if that makes sense. And if that doesn't sell you on it, I don't know what, I can't help you anymore. But this track is awesome. It's absolutely awesome. It's one of my favourites on the album, I've got to say. Very, very catchy chorus on it. Like, but the guest feature on this one is actually really, really good. Like, it's like straight in, you get Amira's vocals. Like, it's not like they've saved her for the second verse or like a breakdown or some shit like that. Like, she is pretty consistent throughout this song, and like Sam Carter will chime in when he can, pretty much. And yeah, like they've used this is how you use a guest feature for me. I think this is done really, really tasteful and really, really well. And she's got a really good voice as well, Amira. So yeah, like very Deftones again, like in this, like within her vocals. Like her vocals kind of sound like very wispy and like echoey, but sounds great. Like, I love Judgment Day. I think Judgment Day is great, and obviously you get the closers from Curse, Seeing Red, which are the previous couple of singles that came out, and Chandelier is like this very sort of epic closer with like it sounds like something from For Those That Wish to Exist, like that sort of vibe. But like it's very, very crescendo-y, very, very big sounding, emotional. But yeah, Chandelier is a really good closer. Probably the only couple of tracks on the album that I don't vibe with all that much. Like maybe like Broken Mirror is one I don't really vibe with. Like, I have skipped Broken Mirror like 1 or 2 times just because this is the point where it gets a little too safe, a little too Bad Omens, like Bring Me at the Worst type thing. Like, there's nothing really good about this track for me. I think it's pretty bland, and it's sort of, I feel like it's them going, well, Bad Omen's very popular. We want a very simple radio rock sounding song. Let's give them Broken Mirror. And obviously, let's not forget that this album is produced by Jordan Fish, like, you know, which he has done a really good job on it, I do think. But like, he's obviously, with his time being in Bring Me the Horizon, he knows how to write like a radio hit, if that makes sense. But yeah, Broken Mirror is the one that I'm not all that bothered about. Landmines it sounds very much like a Bring Me the Horizon song. Like, it's like too close to a Bring Me the Horizon song. Like, I remember when Animals came out and everyone was like, "Oh God, Architects are just doing Bring Me the Horizon now," which I thought was just a bit silly, really. But Landmines, I think, is just, it sounds a lot like Obey from the post. I can't remember the name of the EP that came out, like the mini album that came out a few years ago. It sounds a lot like Obey that features Youngblood on it. But yeah, those are the only 2 tracks on the album that I'm just not all in on. The rest, I am all in. I think they're all brilliant. Like, this is a very good, strong album by Architects. One of my favourite bands ever. I just think they're very, very fucking good. I think it's better than the last album. In terms of ranking it, does it end up being my top 5? Not really. I wouldn't thought so. I know it's definitely not as good as Lost Forever, Lost Together, All Our Gods, Holy Hell. For those that wish to exist, I think that it's not. I don't think it's as good as that. And Hollow Crown has a good special place in my heart as well, so I don't think it's as good as that. But I think it's probably. I'd say it's better than Daybreaker. That is a good album. That was pre Lost Forever, Lost Together, but the production really lets down on that one, to be honest. That's a good album as well, but it's definitely better than the Here and Now. It's definitely better than the Classic Symptoms, and the first 2 Architects album that came out in the mid-noughties are them trying to be Calculating Infinity, Dillinger Escape Plan. They're fine, but they're not great. I'm not expecting them to play them songs live any minute now. But The Sky, the Earth, and all between, give this album a listen. It's really, really good. I really bloody love it. And like I said, they were really great at Leeds, and at the moment they're trying to get to number 1. By the time we hear this now, hopefully it'll be announced. Plus, we are getting a UK tour announced soon. Whilst they have been saying that there's currently a UK tour that is unannounced at the moment. So, yeah, and apparently it's going to be the biggest one they've ever done. So expect a big arena, hopefully close to you, because sometimes UK tours are just we're going to do London, Glasgow, Birmingham, and that's it. Just come to Newcastle, lads. It's fucking mint. But yeah, that is Architects with Sky and Earth and all between. Give it a listen. It's great. Right, I'm going to talk about an album that I never expected to talk about on this podcast, or an artist that I'd never really expected to speak about ever, really, to be honest. I'm going to talk about the new Sam Fender album, which is called People Watching, right? Sam Fender is someone who I'm not massively familiar with prior to this album, especially. Whenever I've heard him on the radio, that sort of stuff, I used to work in a van years ago, I used to work away a lot, one of my older jobs, and, our van drives were quite often put, Absolute Radio on, or Radio X, or Radio 1, and Sam Fender would be playing quite often, and whenever he's been on, I never really mind him, to be honest. Hypersonic Missiles and some of the other stuff that he's released, I thought, a decent tracks, and I have been meaning to, ever since, listen to his first couple of albums. I have been meaning to, but I never got round to it. It's just one of those that's oh yeah, I don't mind this. Maybe I will give the album a listen, because some people have said it's good. And finally, we have an album out. It's called People Watching. And when it came out, I had people talking about it. And people talking about People Watching, should I say. And I thought, right, well, this is going to be my time to listen to Sam Fender. So I'm going to give People Watching a go. I'm going to give it a go. And I feel like a fucking idiot, man. I feel like a stupid, bloody arsehole idiot. Because why didn't I just give this dude my time of day early on in my life? When I first heard him on the radio, why didn't I just go, right, I'll listen to his albums or whatever, see what the fuss is about and all that? Because this dude is obviously, he's headlining festivals, he's got a couple of dates in St. James's Park in Newcastle, and whatever else. He's a Northeast lad as well, loves Newcastle. I'm a Northeast lad who also loves Newcastle. And, I just feel like an idiot for not giving this dude the time of day. Just because he's sort of, along with the indie followers, that sort of shit, and I just sort of been a bit whatever. But this album is amazing. It's actually amazing. I love this album. I've listened to it non-stop. I've probably listened to it more than the Architects album. And I'm talking about Architects, right? Architects are one of my favourite bands of all time. And I've listened to the Sam Fender album more, probably. This album is beautiful. It's amazing. It's heartbreaking at points. If you like Bruce Springsteen, if you like Suede, Pulp, any of those sort of Brit rocky sort of bands from the 90s, like the good ones, and fuck it, like even if you like bands like the Gaslight Anthem or the Menzingers, one of those bands, I think you might get away with this. I generally think you will. Because this album is just full of heart, it's full of soul, honesty, and just relatable for me in areas like, first of all, the title track, People Watching. It is proper tugging on your hat, tugging on your fucking flannel shirt, screaming this chorus along type song. And like it's a song sort of about him, like how he feels like when he's sort of, coming back from a tour, and he's looking out the windows and all that sort of stuff from his tour buses and everything, and thinking, and like just looking at the people who are just passing him by, and the people like in his town, like how they're living their lives and everything. And I think that is just a really, really cool thing, just to sort of, he's not in his head about being this big rock star or being bigger than anyone else. He still relates to people who are in his sort of that sort of living outside the whole celebrity, I don't know, sort of facade that he's in right now. He's nominated for Brit Awards and stuff like that. So he's around celebrities a lot and everything, in these award ceremonies and chat shows and everything. But even though he's involved in all that, he can't help but relate to the outside world, which I think is a really, really amazing thing. Nostalgia's Live, which is the second track on the album. The first time I heard this, like the guitars sent shivers down my spine. They really, really did. Like it's like proper Pulp chorusy sounding, very clean guitar. It almost sounds Christmassy in a way. Like it's very glacial, but it's a beautiful, beautiful song. Love it. And Chin Up is like very folky, very, very lovely. And Wild Long Lie is a song that I think is amazing. Like this is a song that's 6 minutes long. Like he's got a few longer songs on this album. Like one of them's 5.5 minutes, one of them's 5, one of them's 6 minutes. People Watching is 5 minutes, and the rest is sort of like 3.5, 4 minutes long. And, this dude is fucking dominating it out here. And when people turn around to you and say, "Oh, to make a radio hit, you need a fucking 3-minute song at most," fuck that. Just craft something really fucking good. Yeah, Wild Long Lie is a hell of a chorus, full of like these sort of Bruce Springsteen sort of like keys that are sort of layered. Like it is very much like just like very blue collar in a way. And Arm's Length, amazing. Arm's Length is absolutely amazing. All of these tracks are absolutely amazing. There's not a bad track on this thing. Like Arm's Length kind of sounds like Gaslight Anthem in a way. Like when Brian Fallon comes up with these sort of very sort of high string riffs, like but like very ballad. Like if Haley's listening to this song kind of reminds me of May by Gaslight Anthem. It's not like a love song or anything like that, but it's beautiful. Crumbling Empire is when he's talking about like the state of the fucking country and everything. Like he's talking about like people who are working on the rail yards, like all their lives, and like how their jobs have been lost due to privatization, and like his mother's like delivered like most of the kids who live in like his town, and like she's still not being rewarded for like her hard work. She's still like a stressed out nurse running around the block like in the NHS and all that sort of stuff. Like it is just like a proper love letter to like the homies from, and like just basically like the struggles that people have to go through just to like live through like this in their town in a way. But God, man, TV Dinner, which is sort of like third last track on this album. TV Dinner is amazing, very very moody, very cinematic, and like just very. It kind of sounds like a Royal Blood track. Like it reminds me of like one of the sort of piano led Royal Blood tracks on like one of the last couple of albums they did, but actually good. But yeah, there's all over this album. There is good use of string instruments, good use of like orchestral music and everything. And the last track, Remember My Name, is something that just completely stopped me in my tracks. Like, it is just Sam singing this song with just the involvement of a brass band behind him. And this track reduced me to tears. I'm not fucking shitting, right? I'm not shitting. I'm not shitting you. Like, I'm not lying. That's what I'm meant to say. Honestly, no bullshit. That's what I was meant to say. No bullshit. Like this song genuinely did reduce me to tears. So I mean, yeah. Remember My Name is about his grandmother who is suffering from dementia, and he's wrote it through like this perspective of his granddad, and it's sort of, it goes on about like how his granddad is like, you know, he's now pretty much a carer now, and like having to look after her while she's like, you know, going through like this you know, this really hard disease and everything, and you know, he's trying to like tell her stories to get her to like, you know, like remember like certain parts of her life, you know, like who her son is and all that sort of stuff. And it was just like alongside with the music video as well, it is fucking heartbreaking. Like what did it for me? Well, like I heard the song before prior, but like I watched Justin Hawkins Rides Again video, like who does like the reaction videos on YouTube from the darkness, and I really like his reaction videos. Like I'm not bothered about anybody else's, but I think Justin Hawkins does a really good version of just like really, you know, picking apart songs, like how they're wrote and everything, and like getting everything out of it, and like watch the video alongside his reaction, and I was in tears, like as was Justin Hawkins, like, you know. And it was like the song on its own is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful, like how he's managed to come up with this love song between his grandparents, whilst, you know, his granddad is now the carer for his grandmother while she's going through dementia and all that sort of stuff. It's like it's this love song. And, you know, I've spoken on the podcast before about how my grandma passed away in like back in the October last year, and, you know, while she didn't go through dementia, she went through like a rare case of Parkinson's, like which was known as PSP, you know, which she couldn't walk or anything like that. So like my granddad had to take care of her, like, you know, up until like she passed away in the last couple of years of her life. So like that really hit me in a way, and just, you know, like that was a highly relatable thing. Like I really felt that song, like it really related to me in a way. So yeah, Remember My Name is a real, like, it was quite a lot. It was quite a lot. And like now when I listen to that, it's like, you know, I can't help but think about like my grandparents and that sort of thing. And yeah. And I feel like an idiot for not fucking listening to him. So bloody hell, listen to this album. If you are not familiar with Sam Fender, listen to this album anyway. Or if you were like me before and was like, oh, don't care about indie music or anything like that, or, you know, people who are in the charts, like, you know, look, he's better than fucking whoever the fuck else is on the radio, any other solo artist. George Ezra, fuck off. Fucking Tom Grennan and whatever he's called, fuck off. Ed Sheeran, fuck off. The lot of you. Sam Fender's a real one. He's an absolute real one. A real fucking Northeast gem. Come on. And yeah, I've ordered the record, so I'm waiting for that to arrive. Because when an album hits you like that, I can't help but buy it. You know. So yeah, Sam Fender. People watching, this album's amazing. Go get it. Just go get it. Go listen to it. Well, not go get it, but you know, if you like it that much, go get it on vinyl, or cassette, or CD, or 8-track, or floppy disk, whatever you may want. Hey, there we go. So that's it for music. We're gonna chat about the Glass. Oh no, actually no, that's not it for music. There's other things. Here's a bit of news for you. So Glastonbury has announced its lineup for this year, and I tell you what, this is one of the better Glastonbury lineups I've seen in a long time. Like, this is one that I'd love to go to. Like, headlined by the 1975 on the Friday, well deserved, I think. Making their way up there. Neil Young and the Chrome Hearts headlining the Saturday, and Olivia Rodrigo headlining the Sunday, which I have to admit, bit of a stretch. I'd never thought of her as like a Glastonbury headliner, and but yeah, here she is. She's headlining the Sunday. But I'll go through all the bands very quickly on each day. So on the Friday, under 1975, you've got Loyal Kana, who's a really great hip-hop artist. Biffy Clyro, of course, one of the greats. Alanis Morissette, Busta Rhymes, Marabou State, Gracie Abrams, Fortet, Wet Leg, I know he and the Johnsons, don't know who that is. Bad Bad Not Good, Blossoms, Burning Spear, CMAT, Denzel Curry, En Vogue, English Teacher, Fat Boy Slim, Faye Webster, Floating Points, Franz Ferdinand, Glass Beams, Inhaler, Lola Young, Miles Smith, OCs, Pink Panthers, Self-Esteem, Supergrass, Vio Farcatori, that's some foreign name, I don't know what that is, and Wonder Horse, so that's your Friday. Obviously, I don't know, I'm not going to act like I know all these bands. I mean, I love Biffy Clyro, I think Loyal Kana's really good, I love Denzel Curry. Of course, we're going to be seeing good old Denzel at Outbreak again soon. Looking forward to that. Fat Boy Slim will be fun, I am sure. Supergrass, very good. And on the Saturday, underneath Neil Young, got Charlie XCX, which I was very surprised just to see underneath Neil Young. I would have thought she would be headlining the festival after the year she's had. She's one of the biggest pop artists scored at the moment, and like, she came away with 5 Brit Awards, like the weekend just gone. So I would have thought she'd have headlined the Sunday rather than Olivia Rodrigo, but here we are. She'd either be subbing Neil Young or headlining is it called the other stage? Like the second stage? Like, their second stage is like the same size as a Download's main stage. Like, it's insane. So she'll probably headline that. Ray Dochi, Deftones, Ezra Collective, John Fogerty, Amel and the Sniffers, Amaray, Biba Doobie, Beth Gibbons, Bob Villain, Brandy Carlisle, Caribou, Father John Misty, Gary Newman, Green Tea Peng, Jade, Japanese Breakfast, Kaiser Chiefs, Kneecap, Left Field, Lucy Dacus, Nick Law, Nova Twins, Parcelo, Scissor Sisters, The Script, TV on the Radio, Weezer, and Yusef Davies. That's a good day. That, like, I mean, I like Charlie XCX. Deftones, I obviously love. They're playing Glastonbury instead of Download. But you know, Biba Doobie are quite cool. Beth Gibbons, of course, I'm sure she's from Portishead, isn't she? Like some Gary Newman bangers. Kneecap, great hip hop act from Ireland, and of course they've had a bit of success from their biopic that is available to watch on Amazon. I've not watched it yet, but it's supposed to be really good. And they're headlining 2000 Trees this year. Nova Twins, I think they're really cool. They're good. Scissor Sisters are, of course, back. And Weezer. Fucking Weezer. Need I say more? And on the Sunday, you have Sexy Rod Stewart, who's going to be doing his legend slot on the Sunday. The Prodigy, Noah Khan, Nile Rodgers and Chic, come on. Wolf Alice, Georgia Smith, Over Mono, The Libertines, AJ Tracy, Black Uhuru, Celeste, not the black metal band, Seamand, Danilo Plesso, Dijon, Future Islands, Girl in Red, Goat, Joy Crooks, K Tempest, Katie J. Pearson, Parcels, Porsa, Royal Otis, Shabuzi, Snow Patrol, Sprints, St. Vincent, The Big Moon, the Brian Johnston Massacre, the Maccabees, Selector, and motherfucking Turnstile. And that's a good Sunday, man. I'll be all over the Prodigy. I think Roger Stewart will be a laugh. Nile Rodgers and Chic are a band I'm dying to see. Because it just looks like the best time ever to see a band. Let's see who else. Obviously Turnstile. The Selector would be good. St. Vincent, like, she's pretty good as well. Sprints. They were like one of my favorite albums that came out last year. And yeah, Glastonbury lineup is really bloody good. Like, that is enough. I mean, if I had the money, I'd do it, and the time off, I'd do it, absolutely. Glastonbury, one of those festivals I've always fancied going for, but like the tickets always sell out like before any bands get announced, so I can't justify spending 300 odd quid on a weekend ticket when I don't know who's playing. But this is a good lineup. This is really good, and yeah, if you're going to Glastonbury, fuck you. Not really. I hope you have a good time. It looks like a good weekend, and. Also, last thing on the old music front, if you are into hardcore, Pain of Truth and Tsunami have dropped a split EP, just right out of nowhere. They just went, fuck you, here's a new EP, split EP, 2 tracks from Pain of Truth and 2 tracks from Tsunami. I won't go too much into this. If you like your meat and potatoes, hardcore, beat down shit, this is for you. Listen to it. 9 minutes long, baby. 4-track EP. Give it a listen. It's really, really good. If you like Hatebreed, any of that sort of shit, dumb music, go for it. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. And yeah, that's pretty much it for music. There we go. So, I mean, video game news. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 remaster is coming in July the 11th. Very excited about that. I won't be able to play it the day it comes out because I'm going to be at 2,000 trees. Sorry, I just burped. I can't complain too much about that. I'm very excited for both. But hell yeah, new Tony Hawks. Obviously, complete remasters of the 3rd and 4th that came out on the PS2, I believe. Yes, they did. I know 3 was sort of cross-gen. Like, they had it come out on PlayStation 1 and PS2 as that came out, and I believe Tony Hawk's 4 was strictly PlayStation 2. But like like we've all been asking for this because the remasters for 1 and 2 were just so good, and yeah, we're getting 3 and 4 remastered, baby. Some of those songs from the soundtracks, you know, 96 White Beans is going to be in there, Ace of Spades, Motorhead, and they're going to add some new stuff as well, and obviously we've got some of the older, some of the old skate parks that were on the previous games, and they're adding some more new ones, which I think is really cool. I don't think they added any new ones on the previous remasters, but yeah, yes, man, it's gonna be fucking mint. I can't wait. Oh god, yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. New Tony Hawk's July the 11th, and as far as games go, really, I've finished playing Horizon Forbidden West now. I have platinumed it, and that is it. I platinumed it. Enjoyed my 55 hours of time with that, and I've just started playing Red Dead Redemption 2 again for the first time since its release. So I'm having another playthrough of that. So, and I'm enjoying it. I'm really bloody enjoying it. I'm only 2 hours in on my new playthrough, but fucking hell, one of the greatest games of all time. And I need to get back onto Majora's Mask really, because that's a hell of a game. It's really, really good. But yeah, that's it, folks. That's all, folks. Yeah. See you next week. What's happening next week? Next week, I'll talk about the new Spirit Box album that's just dropped today. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm quite excited for that because Spirit Box are a good band. Sleep Token teasing a single, apparently, so I'll probably talk about that as well. Sleep Token, I love you. That's what everyone will be like on all the magazines everywhere. Sleep Token, you can't move from that band, honestly. But I'll talk about them probably. But am I going to any gigs? I don't think I am yet. No gigs or anything. That's it. Looking forward to seeing you all next week. Take care. Much love. I will see you next week. Take care. Much love. If you enjoyed the podcast today, do not forget to like, subscribe, and punch me in the face. I don't know why I just said that. Please don't punch me in the face. Like, my lip is still suffering here. Like, subscribe, share, follow, all that sort of stuff, whether you're listening on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcast or anywhere on the internet. See you later. I've been Master Dan. Thank you very much for listening to episode 74. I will